10 Worst Kevin Costner Movies Ranked Least to Most Boring. Kevin Costner's career is a strange little galaxy. Oscar-winning prestige and some eyebrow-raising misfires are both part of his resume. Since his first on-screen appearance in 1981, he has managed to leave a mark in every decade. There is no denying that he's had an extraordinary run. But not every film has hit the mark. Even for someone as talented as Costner, there have been some misses. There are movies of his that felt flat, uninspired, or just plain dull. Here's a look at 10 of his weakest films, ranked from the least boring to the ones that will really test your attention span. 10 The Upside of Anger, 2005. Let's start with one that's actually not half bad. The Upside of Anger is where Kevin Costner took on an emotional role. The film leans hard into messy emotions. It tackles themes like grief and mistrust. There's that simmering household tension everyone pretends they don't feel. Joan Allen holds the center beautifully, like someone trying to keep all the plates spinning without losing her smile. Evan Rachel Wood and Kerry Russell bring in a fresh energy that makes the whole thing feel alive. The themes get heavy, sure, but there's a warmth in it, too. This movie pulled the viewers in because it was not at all boring. Critics appreciated it. Fans still defend it. And Costner, as usual, wears the role like it's something familiar he found in his closet. This film is basically a family therapy session that never bothered to wrap up. 9 Message in a Bottle, 1999. Kevin Costner brings to Message in a Bottle that gentle, brooding energy that Nicholas Sparks' adaptations practically run on. The romance feels slow and patient, with Robin Wright matching his emotional tempo as their characters orbit around shared heartbreak. The coastal backdrops work overtime here, and the film knows exactly what kind of audience it's speaking to. It offered something soft and sincere for viewers who don't mind being gently devastated. Sparks films tend to divide people. This one is no different. Message in a Bottle carries a quiet charm. You just have to settle into its rhythm. It's the cinematic equivalent of staring at the ocean until your feelings answer back. 8 Rumor Has It, 2005. This light romantic comedy was mainly a showcase for Jennifer Aniston, but Costner manages to leave an impression. He plays Beau Burrows, the man rumored to have inspired The Graduate, and possibly the reason Aniston's character's family is so dysfunctional. The premise was very clever. Rumor has it starts with plenty of potential, but soon enough, it slips into familiar rom-com territory. There's charm in the performances for sure, but the humor feels very outdated. The plot plays it too safe. It's not a total disaster or too boring, though. Costner is likable as ever, and the film has a pleasant tone. But it doesn't leave your heart tingling. 7 3 Days to Kill, 2014. Costner steps into action dad mode here, juggling gunfights, emotional reconnection, and an international plot that probably needed a nap. The movie throws stereotypes around like confetti, but the cast, Amber Heard, Haley Steinfeld, Connie Nielsen, adds enough energy to keep everything from collapsing. The premise of 3 Days to Kill gets wild fast. But somehow viewers still find themselves rooting for Costner to complete his mission and maybe fix his family along the way. It's far from a genre classic, yet it has that chaotic, popcorn-friendly energy McG films tend to carry. Add Luc Besson's fingerprints to the script, and things only get stranger. It's basically take your daughter to work day, except the job is international mayhem. 6 Fandango, 1985. This early Costner film feels like a road trip someone scribbled in a college notebook. The whole movie is full of impulsive choices and heartfelt detours. Fandango didn't land with audiences right away, but over the years, it managed to charm a loyal following, Quentin Tarantino included. Tarantino said, Costner plays one of the drifting 20-somethings looking for meaning, laughs, and any excuse to delay adulthood. With time, fans began appreciating its carefree tone. It's rough around the edges, but that almost works in its favor. It's the kind of movie that ages better if you watch it on a lazy afternoon. It's basically boys on a road trip before GPS existed to stop them. 5 Sizzle Beach U.S.A. 1981. Here's where things start to get rough. Sizzle Beach U.S.A. is technically Kevin Costner's first movie, though he probably wishes it wasn't. This low-budget beach comedy tries to mix romance and raunchy humor, but fails spectacularly on both fronts. The story follows a rich young man, John Logan, who learns about life and love from three women trying to break into Los Angeles' nightlife scene. It's as shallow as it sounds and, frankly, a bit painful to watch. Costner himself was so embarrassed by it that he later tried to buy the rights just to bury it, but was denied. With an IMDb rating of 2.7, it's easy to see why most people pretend this one never existed. For Shadows Run Black 1984. This movie resurfaced only because Kevin Costner's rising fame made it suddenly marketable. He shows up in a smaller role. He plays a suspect in a clunky erotic thriller that lacks suspense, polish, and basically everything else the genre depends on. Its long shelf time before release didn't help, and audiences weren't impressed when it finally arrived. Shadows Run Black crawls along with low energy, low budget, and low ratings, 3.1 on IMDb and 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even with its flaws, there's a strange retro charm buried under the awkward pacing. But still, most viewers walked away remembering only that Costner was technically in it. It's a thriller that seems genuinely afraid of thrilling anyone. 3. The Gunrunner, 1989. Costner takes on a dramatic role in this 1920s set story about a man smuggling guns during the Chinese Civil War after witnessing his girlfriend's execution. Heavy premise, stylish costumes, promising backdrop, but the movie never quite finds its spark. The Gunrunner was filmed years before release, then pushed out to ride Costner's growing momentum. But this probably didn't help its uneven feel. Critics handed it 1- and 2-star reviews, maybe, and audiences didn't fare much better, leaving it with low ratings across the board. Still, it offers a tiny glimpse of Costner experimenting with leading man intensity before his major successes. It's a revenge movie that somehow feels like it needs a strong cup of coffee first. 2. The New Daughter, 2009. This horror-tinged thriller leans heavily on the same Costner familiar trope. We have already seen enough of Costner being a single father trying to solve a very creepy family mystery. He and Samantha Mathis handle their roles well, grounding the story. But the supernatural elements start wandering in odd directions. The New Daughter sprinkles in a few solid scares, but the overall execution never rises above average. It didn't make much noise at the box office either. It faded quickly despite its intriguing setup. The plot centers on Costner's character moving his children to a remote home where his daughter becomes strangely drawn to a mysterious mound, not exactly the ideal housewarming gift. It's the only movie where landscaping becomes more genuinely terrifying. 1. Chasing Dreams 1982. Before baseball became one of Costner's unofficial cinematic homes, this little sports film marked his earliest jog onto the diamond. The story follows a hardworking farm kid who can't touch a baseball until he finishes his chores, and a college coach who sees potential in him. It's simple, gentle, and earnest, though far from the polished sports dramas Costner would later headline. His role here is smaller. But still, it hints at a future filled with dugouts, stadium lights, and heartfelt speeches. Chasing Dreams quickly drifts into very boring territory. But it holds a certain charm for anyone who enjoys old-school underdog stories.